you came here, you trade here, you get one film session, you go and you play. How were you able to transition so quickly to a new team?
I think it starts with the people. Everyone was so accommodating and super nice and genuine. So I think it starts with that, and then after that, it's just the similarities through DC and Minnesota, the way they play, made it a lot easier.
I know that Washington's still fighting for a playoff spot, but to go from a team that's relatively speaking struggling to a team that is trying to get a top 2 seed, was it a big change in terms of that what you walked into?
Not necessarily, because when I was in DC, like, we were still competing and playing hard and trying to win some games. We just didn't end up in the win column. And then I come here and they were already winning, and then just adding on, trying to do my best to, not bring them down, but continue to build and add on to what I'm capable of doing for this team.
I think you had only the 4th 6-6-6 game off the bench in this franchise's history the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's clear that you're contributing in many different ways. But what do you think off the bench is the most important thing that you can do?
I think it's make sure, one, you get your starters a break, a rest, and not do a drop off. Coming in the game, you're cold. You're sitting there for quite some time, so it's thinking, one, staying engaged, making sure how another player is playing, my teammate or whatever the case may be, and not doing a drop off, because that's where it starts, and continue to get better on the defensive side.
This Sunday, playing at Washington, your team that you played for a while, how jarring of an experience was that? So I'm sure it's great to catch up with a lot of those people again, but going to the visitors' locker room as opposed to the home locker room, just what was that day like for you?
It was different for sure, but it was great seeing old faces. I guess you say old faces. I just left recently, so it was great to see some of my friends, some of the workers from around ESA, coaches, and just seeing their smiling faces again. That was fun, but it was definitely different walking through the visiting side and then seeing what the locker room looked like, things of that nature. But for the most part, I was just happy, to be back and see familiar faces again.
This team does so many things well, but I think one of the reasons they got you is they needed to rebound better on the defensive end and have a little bit more depth in terms of defense there. But then the other night, you steal the ball, go end to end, and score.
Try to do a little bit of something, huh? Wasn't known for the steals.
I guess my point is that you can't really pigeonhole what you can do here, right?
Yes, and that's one of the things I like about Cheryl. Early on, she told me, just be yourself. We brought you here because we know what you're capable of doing. So it's not, putting me in this one box, but letting me explore, trying new things, and just have fun playing basketball.
Is there a sense that you joined a team that's very much on the way up?
Oh, yes. When I was with DC and we were playing Minnesota, we were like, oh no, this is a team. And every year we would come to Minnesota, or they would come to us, and we would play them in preseason games every year because Coach T and Cheryl are really good friends. So that's the standard in Minnesota. We know how they play, and just to be able to say that's how I play now too, it's amazing. And me translating that onto the court, I mean, it feels really good. You mentioned the steals, I wasn't known for getting a lot of steals, but just the confidence, and my teammates have my back too. Just knowing if I don't get the steal, I know they have my back, and then I gotta rotate for them. Little things like that, where I'm okay, that's the standard here, and championship is, their goal here. So now I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm just trying to do my part to maintain that standard.
You've been on a team that went all the way, right?
Yep.
You were on the Washington team that won it all. I guess, do you see any similarities in kind of necessarily the culture and the way they play here, and what do you think that experience that you have had on a team like that can bring to the team here that really doesn't have a lot of players who could say that?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, honestly, and I think it starts with the head of the snake, which is the coach, and then coaching staffs, and then you have your star player who holds everyone accountable with Fee. The way that she's able to communicate with us on the court, even off the court, it's amazing, and it's just true leadership right there. So it makes you like want to go even harder too, and then you don't always focus on how, Cheryl is saying something, but more so just listening to the message, not like how she's delivering it. That's one of like the biggest similarities, I guess you could say, like taking that criticism and that drive that she has, and even my teammates have too, and performing better on the court with it.
Yeah, that's kind of something that I think Syl Falls always talked about, is that her job was to translate Reeves' intensity into a more relatable message.
Yeah. And he does a great job with that too. But I, been coached by Coach T, so like I've already had that that in back of my mind. Never take what they're saying like to heart, or they want to win and they know like what's best and how to win. So like never take it to heart. But no, Fee does a great job translating it too.
It's been 3 years since you and Fee played together in France. What are some of the areas that you think she's grown the most from being her teammate then to her teammate now?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say just her aggression. Like, Fee has been playing like on another level, like another planet, I should say, actually. Like, she's having an MVP year. I mean, last year she was having a great year too, but I think she like just stepped it up a few notches. So just to be able to say like that's my teammate again definitely feels good. I don't have to play against her anymore or guard her. So that's really good. But no, she's definitely on MVP level, and I think her aggression has gotten like, I'm not saying like she wasn't aggressive before, but like she wants that ball every time. Like if she's having off, she still wants that ball, and that just shows like no, she's committed to like she is the head of this team here, and if it's off night for her, it won't be for long because like she's gonna figure out a way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for scoring. Like she's facilitating, rebound, defends the best post player on the other team. That's something also that like I'm super like impressed by too. Like on the scouting report, she's guarding the best player on the other team, and then doing it on the offensive end too. So like her stamina is amazing. Like she's playing like 38 minutes a game too. So
Kayla's that way too. She's the
yeah,
toughest perimeter player.
she's playing like 35. Like we were talking about it the other day. Like they don't get a break, but they keep going and they defend and they play hard on the offensive side too. Like it's impressive. It's impressive.
Can you just talk more about what it was like playing against K-Mac and then coming here and being a teammate? Can you just talk about just both sides of that?
Yeah. So I never have to guard her, but like I could see like my past teammates, even like overseas too. Like I played against her in Turkey this past season. Like just seeing how she just does not stop moving, how she just continues to cut like off screens. Like she's getting a screen, but like she's still gonna get open in her shot. Like I think she is like one of the quickest releases in this game to date. Like the way she just gets it off and she shoots the ball the same every single time. It's like you cannot affect like what she's doing. Like when her mind is made up. And then I'm also like noticing as a teammate that she gets in that paint a lot too, and like she finishes well like with the scoop layups or the floaters coming through the middle. So just to see like she's not just a 3-point shooter, she also can get in the paint and score. And then also like you mentioned, like she's guarding the best guard on the other team too. So just doing that all night long is impressive. And also, I'm not saying she's old, but at her age too, I mean, it's impressive. She's been doing this for a long time, at a high level too, because you think at Notre Dame, you think overseas, like she's been with EuroLeague teams, winning championships over there, and then, coming here too, and then, it's impressive. It is impressive.
How much you guys, I know you're looking at the next opponent always first and foremost, but after a game's over, do you look at scores in the standings and go, all right, we're 2, they're 7, just to know what might lie ahead here in a couple weeks once you get to the postseason?
Not necessarily. Been in this league for a minute now. I don't want to say a long time. A minute now, where it's just like it doesn't matter where your standings are. A team's gonna come and try to beat you every single night and give you their best shot. It doesn't matter if they're the 12th team or their number one seed. They're gonna give you your best shot. So I don't necessarily look at the standings, but you have it in the back of your mind, like, of us trying to get higher in the standings. Not necessarily who we're playing, but us as a team just getting higher in standings, and winning. The chips. I see they have that's another thing I noticed. They have a lot of stats that just around the building you just look at, and one of the things that I noticed is they have chips of series. So we got Chicago coming up we could win that series, and then they would put a chip on the board over there. So it's like little things like that where I think it's like super cool because you recognize and you're aware of, you know, what's at stake and what you're playing for.
Can I ask one more? Why do you think this team is winning at the level it's winning? You've been around the league, you come in, it's filled with superstars.
Yeah.
Why is this team winning?
Because they're playing for each other. Like, we're playing for each other. And that's, like, one of the things that I am super impressed with. Like, the way that they communicate, like, you know they're going to, like, I'm a part of it now. Like, you know, like, I'm going to run through a wall for the next person next to me, and I know they're going to do the same for me. Really enjoy each other. Like, they hang out so much. That's like another thing too, where it's impressive because, you know, a lot of times like you're always together. You just want to like go to your room or go by yourself. No, this team like hangs out a lot and continues to like, you know, get to know each other and build that chemistry, and it translates on the court. Some of the best teams that you've seen, like not even just basketball, but just in general, like off the court stuff matters. Like what you do off the court matters. It's the way you communicate. It's the way, like you just know a person. Like you know what gets them going or what can trigger them in a way that you don't necessarily want. And that all just starts off the court, and then like on the court, it just looks good. It's just showing now that like this team really loves each other and wants to win and wants to run through that wall for the next one.
Thank you. Thanks, Myisha.
Thank you.